Looks like its projected path is aiming for South Texas, and as it does, picking up intensity. This is good news for South Texas. They need the rain. However, the damaging winds could be an issue. We will keep you posted. Turning our attention back to Katia, does not look like it's going to be much of an issue towards us. Doesn't look like it's going to make rainfall on anywhere on the eastern seaboard, but the real threat there, Tony, is the waves that are going to be associated with it. Right here, we can see some of these storms begin to really blow up as the evening progresses, especially down in the Oak Hill and Titusville area. So folks headed home for this evening, be prepared for some big showers and scattered storms. We can already see a lot of these storms getting in the mass, a lot of heavy rain totals and scattered showers along the South near Titusville, Indian River areas, and that rain will continue to fall into this evening. Well, folks, it is the beginning of September, and that means hurricane season. Now we can see Katia blowing off to our northeast, but Maria is filling in right behind it as it moves in. But the real focus here is Nate and what it's going to do. Here we can see it settle down in the Mexico City area. Most models are showing it blowing out to the southwest as it dissipates, but there is a strong chance that it will head northwest down for the Houston and Panhandle area. Here we can see its models aiming for the south point of Texas, and as it does, picking up in intensity, possibly becoming a Category 2 hurricane by tomorrow. Now turning back over to the tropics, here we can see Katia over by the Richmond heading towards the New York area. Does not look as if it's going to make rainfall. However, the story there is what kind of seas and swells will it bring with it. As it's moving past up to New England area, it could be some severe winds and showers as it blows past. And finally, our newest named storm, here's Maria blowing in off of our Antigua and Barbados area, being blocketed down by that high pressure we have in the Atlantic. Now, as it inches towards us westbound, the question is, will it make landfall on us, or will it just be the real issue for our friends out in the San Juan? Now, taking a look at our neck of the woods, mostly dry as we're moving into the evening, as we are here in the Orlando and Volusia County areas. Mostly dry down in Melbourne with a few outflow boundaries, a few severe storms over in the Sanford area. Now, zooming in on this, we can see a lot of these storms massing for the evening. It's going to be wet around here, especially if you're heading for the Oak Hill, Titusville area. So folks commuting to that way this evening, be careful and drive slowly. We'll be seeing a lot of evening showers as the evening progresses. Taking a look at tonight's forecast, here's that dry air mass that's been protecting us as the week's been continuing. But again, as it moves southbound, pushing a lot of that precipitation to the east coast, we'll be looking at some evening showers, a few storms, especially along the coastline. Folks headed on the I-4 corridor headed southbound. That's going to be a wet road home tonight. And folks, again, we're going to look at some cloudy with a few sprinkles and showers as the night begins to progress. Taking a look at some tomorrow's temperatures. Again, this rain did have a chance today to keep us a little bit cooler. We're seeing 81 in Leesburg, 79 in the Villages, and 78 down in Winter Haven. But that will change as we move in tomorrow. We're seeing an average high of 90 with some variable winds. Again, that rain will pass by, making it for a consistent 88 across the board. Taking a look at our 7-day forecast. Here we are on Friday, 88 degrees will be our high. 72 walking out the door, a little bit rainy and moist. 50% chance of rain. Now that rainfall could increase as we move into the evening, but starting off our weekend on Saturday, high of 91, picking up in temperature on Sunday and Saturday and Sunday. 40% chance of rain. Going to be a little bit drier this weekend, but again, we're going to be picking up in heat. So folks, headed to the beach, remember to have a lot of water and watch out for those swells from the remnants of Katia and the beginning of Maria moving in. That's right, Tony. Well, it looks like Nate has just finally named itself, but also with Nate, the tropics are currently giving us 2 more named storms. Off our eastern shore, we have Katia, as well down just newly formed, we have Maria. But zooming in on Nate, here we can see it now beginning to establish itself down in the Mexico City, Cancun area. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to be much of an issue currently as it's moving slow, but as the week begins to progress, it looks like it could change course and head into northeasterly flow. Now, if that does, it means a lot more rain totals for us, but we'll get back to that. Turning our attention back to Katia, does not look like it's going to be much of an issue towards us. Doesn't look like it's going to make rainfall on anywhere on the eastern seaboard, but the real threat there, Tony, is the waves that are going to be associated with it. Currently, we're seeing up to 6 to 8 foot shore breakers, and that same will be consistent into tomorrow, not breaking down to a usual flow until about Friday, and the rip currents will be there associated with it. So swimmers and surfers, beware of that. Now, turn our attention finally to our newest named storm, Maria, just off the Cape Verde coast. Now, it looks like it's going to follow the same track as Katia did. Not going to be an issue for us, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of rain and swells as the week progresses. Taking a better look at our neck of the woods, we can see a lot of that remnants of the moisture and activity taking place in the Gulf heading in an easterly direction towards us. Looks like a lot of flooding and coastal storms along the Tampa, Fort Myers area. But as we head east with it, zooming in on the Melbourne area, we can see a lot of these storms begin to mass down the eastern side. Melbourne, Titusville, looks like we're getting a lot of rain associated with there. Some scattered showers and into the evening. We're seeing a lot of rain totals in that area. Frontenac and Palm Bay, we're seeing up to 1.5 inches. And that rain, Tony, looks like it's going to be hanging out into this evening. Taking a look at tonight's forecast, fortunately, we do have this cold, drier air mass moving down on top of us, heading southbound. And as it does, drying what's beneath it, but pushing all that rain and humidity forward to the southeast area, making for some humid, warmer temperatures down southeast of us. Taking a look at high temperatures tomorrow, 90 pretty consistent, looking at an average high of 90, winds light and variable. 87 pretty consistent along the board. Again, it's going to be a little bit cooler as that dry, cooler air mass comes across. Now, moving into tomorrow, we're seeing a high of 87. 40% chance of rain, walking out the door feeling like 74, coming home at 85 with a low of 71. But as we turn to Friday, looks like we'll begin picking up in temperatures a little bit more. We're seeing a high of 88, 40% chance of rain. And then as we turn to our weekend, folks, picking up in temperature a little bit more. Starting off our work week, we're seeing a high of 91, consistent in through the week, seeing a high, the rain totals up to 30, 40%, and that will be consistent, maybe changing as Nate begins to establish itself, but we'll keep you informed as the week progresses.